head into the game here, Lizard. The Sand King Gómez voice lines, I have to say, are pretty good. That does sound fairly annoying to spam at some point.
Yeah, I have to say, I muted Dota like instantly as we entered the draft. It was way too much, man. They're spamming it so damn hard, like I can't hear anything. I can't hear my thoughts. You know, when the game starts and they just start spamming it, you're like, what the hell is happening? I don't know where I'm going anymore.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. Like, I think the old G voice line caught me off guard when I saw a team spamming it, because for some reason, the thing about, you know, did you know that the fluke is one of the fish of the sea? Was one of the fish, because apparently flukes are gone. It was so loud relative to all the other voice lines that I could not. I had to drop my volume to like 10%. It's crazy. Crazy.
By the way, you know everyone loves a good love story, especially in Dota, right? And Duster played for Bait, right? And his nickname right now has Yana, that's Ukrainian or Russian name right there after. So now we understand how they made him get into the team.
I see. Appeal to the heart, appeal to emotions.
Exactly,
you know?
Exactly.
That's all you need.
We need more of it. It's not. I feel like it's. There, Shido has one as well. There we go. Like we have some heart gamers here.
Yeah, heart gamers. Maybe a little bit of that e-boy, e-girl action. Who knows? As we do dip into the lanes coming out here, taking a look up top first. Shido on the Slark and Yanbura on that Undying up against Isla on the OD and Sanctified on that Tusk. How do you feel like the OD has a good time in this lane? Like, can you really use your Tusk OD combination to bully down this Slark early on?
Early on you cannot, but eventually the Tusk will bring the waves to you, and that's what you're playing for. You're playing for Ring of Health and maybe level 3, and then you can start actually dishing out the damage. Up to that point, Undying is a god in this lane. You don't want to mess with him. So if you don't want to mess with him, just creep skip. Exactly what Sanctified is doing right now.
Not really being punished for it. Sanctified still has 4 mangoes to play with. They are cutting off that Slark from just having free farm here as well. So just kind of dodge out very nicely. Bounce the lanes. We'll see what happens as the levels go up there. Taking a look down bot. Starting to drop fairly low across the board. Not quite low enough to die, but it's Ducho on that DP along with 9 on that Mirana up against Duster on his Ench and Double King on his Lifestealer. Now, in this lane, I mean, you did say that you don't expect the DP to get completely run down in the right circumstances. The camps were left up though.
Yeah.
So
the camps were left, but you have Mirana to kill the creeps if you want to with the arrow, right? Probably that's why they left them. Undying, getting a bit low, but that's always what Undying does. He gets low, then he decays you, and he turns the fight, so need to be careful. When it comes to the bottom lane, yeah, I think DP should do quite fine here. I don't think that's gonna be a massive issue, unless Ducho, he makes a mistake. I think he should be fine.
yeah, I like that Ducho also starts with an early Wraith Band, so getting a little bit more armor on top, just to not cop as much if Double King and Duster see this opportunity to run down. So DP is kind of solidified in that lane. We're not seeing any enchant plays just yet, although they do find the annoying mana burn creep. So this could be really annoying to deal with from Duster. I'm trying to run down a bit, but not quite enough coming out to really pin down Ducho.
It's not like a 20 mana plus 2 times your int. That's okay. It's quite a lot versus something like a DP. That's what, 74 mana or something like that. Quite a bit, but it does die to the arrow. So yeah.
So it does make sense if you leave it open. Just bait the Enchantress to get the enchant off, line up your shot with 9, and you get free farm and you deny off that skill point from the side of CDUB quite nicely. So again, the bot lane going pretty all right here for Ducho, although I'd say Double King's farming a lot more than you'd expect. In the mid lane matchup that we haven't really taken a look at, Lund on the Ember up against Mark on that Lesh.
Yeah, not doing great
not
so far.
that good.
Yeah. He is doubled in the CS. He should be able to take down these 2 creeps, but still, 18, last it's 8 denies on the Lash rack. he is living life. Mark
He is
living life.
It's way easier for Mark, and they're already getting some of those early rotations out. They want to secure these water runes coming out here for Mark. Lund should still have access to his bot. He's got wards to protect.
Top lane,
He's
Tombstone.
going to be just fine, although. Yeah, they dropped the Tombstone up top. They're trying to run down Isla, but there's that Ring of Health you were talking about, so he's a lot harder to just shove out of lane.
The best thing about this Ring of Health is you're being hit by decay all the time, right? And then you have Ring of Health just healing you up even better.
And that's the funny thing with Undying, you know? It's just decay sometimes makes you feel a little bit more secure. Especially if you can heal up while it fades out. You don't feel too bad up there. And you are out of mango for Yanbura.
They are jumping
They do
him
get the
again,
pounce
top,
up, though, onto Isla, but there's the snowball save along with that orb. Astral Imprisonment coming out. So they can't fully commit. No first blood yet. Both sides are trying, but no kill opportunities presenting themselves here.
Yep, so far Slark is trying something. He knows that eventually this lane is going to be horrible, so he's dishing out the damage as soon as he can do so.
Yeah. Dropping low, but it's the DP, right? Like, you hit level 3 Spirit Siphon at 2-9's the one in danger. Now being chased down with a creep. Does have the Fairy Fire. And they'll find a creep anyway. So again, just playing on edge both sides here.
Yeah, he doesn't,
maybe feeling a little bit better in CDUB.
Doesn't have Siphon now on bottom lane. They might run him down. Okay, he just gets out. It's fine. I won't bait the cameraman. You can stay top. You can stay top. Just do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah, Eosyn's just getting dragged around everywhere. This is what we love to do, Eosin. You know me and Mike love baiting you as well. I'm sure he's used to it. They are trying to get a little bit aggressive top. They get the imprisonment. Not really going to run down. And there's the kill on Dutra down bot now.
He caught
Low
it.
HP. Acorn shot out.
He caught it.
He got the glimpse at it. And, well, without the Spirit Siphons, that DP is susceptible. I have to say, Double King is farming like a madman down bot. Like, this is really, really slow for Dutra. Do you expect the DP to get crushed this hard and being pushed away from the creep wave?
Definitely not, but Enchantress just does her own thing, right? Like, she zones anyone out. I didn't expect Ducho to suffer this hard, but you know, you get your 6. If he even takes ulti on 6, you get your 6, you rotate the Ember in. There are ways of recovering the DP. They are losing the DP lane, and the Ember lane isn't that great, so now they get another kill.
Yeah.
By the way, with that kill, I'll stop talking, but with that kill, OD is what, 300 gold away from Meteor Hammer. Top is gonna be the place to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty painful once you can connect with a hammer coming through. I have to say, again, rune control kicks in here for CDUB. Regen rune coming out for Mark on that rotation, so he just heads back mid. No problem here. A really strong start for CDUB. And the side of Sand King Gómez just falling behind a little bit. They'll try to make a move up top. Snowball out. Tag team as well. There's some count to save, but Shard's on point. Shido will have another Dark packed up, but doesn't have anything to protect, and now the Astral's down. Tombstone to try to buy for time. Doesn't lead to anything. Sanctified is dropping low and should drop to Yanbura. They're TPing in the Ember as well. They heal up the Tombstone. Isla's forcing the issue. Has the imprisonment.
Oh, this is gonna be...
But
oh,
here
he
comes
misses!
Lund missed. Sleight of Fist misses. The Remnant does come in. He has the chains. They should be able to find us. Chains out. They will find a counter kill. That took a little bit more, but you know, you get some counter activity here from Lund.
I mean, for him, that's great. Like, he just got a kill on the OD that's having the time of his life. He's even above the Ember in the net worth. And you needed to kill him before he pops that Meteor Hammer. Because this OD never needs to go base. Like, that's the nature of the hero. You get Ring of Health, you get the Meteor Hammer, and you literally just chill in the lane, because you'll have mana regen anyway.
Yeah. You'll just have it up and running purely off your items. You're going to feel pretty durable there. The OD is actually fairly durable for what he is. So, going to be hard to shove him away. Level 6 fully up now for Isla, though. Santis Eclipse is up. No real interiors to worry about on the other side, except for maybe that DP. So you've always got a significant amount of damage to drop with your ultimate there as well.
First Meteor Hammer used.
Yeah. Starting to just hammer away. That's what you like to see. They're still staying up top. Like, they dragged 9 in, so the Chain's arrow is ready. Can he find it, though? Tombstone down. Chains does not connect. Sanctified is there to save, and the imprisonment's out. Arrow misses as well. Shards to cut off. They'll still dive. They remnant forward. They do get the snowball save out from Sanctified. The hammer connects. The hammer drops. The 2 hammers down. Lund low on HP, but they almost find Isla. Not enough. Imprisonment again. Marks in to help. Perfect timing on the stun.
Damn.
And they just clean up that dive. 3 for 1.
I have to say, John, like I was hyping up Sand King Gómez, but I didn't see this many mistakes from them in all their other series combined. They were usually the ones outplaying in that early game, but I guess they just found someone who matches their skill level in the laning stage at least. It's a little bit of both always, right? Like, it's a little bit of your own mistakes and a little bit of you being outplayed. Ducho?
Yeah. Trying again on that DP. The slows are kicking in slowly but surely.
Nice
getting
blocks.
blocked off by the creep. Good micro coming out here from Duster. And a free kill coming out for Double King as the stuns come out. The chain stuns as the creep dies. Yanbora gonna be safe under his tower, but loses half his HP.
Why didn't he go?
And
What do you
CDUB,
think?
every lane is clean.
Why didn't Playstiller go? I guess you don't want to get rotated on, but he had Rage Phase Boots. I guess no Orb of Corrosion as well, so you can't really slow him.
Yeah, like you expect a little bit more slow, but you are just relying on, well, nothing besides the enchant, so it's a little bit hard to just keep him down. I think it's also respect. I mean, they just saw what happened, so a punish dive up top. They're like, all right, guys, chill out. Don't need to go too ham here.
Yep.
Just, you're winning your lane. Just keep that farm game up. You know, your armlet's going to be up here now with the delivery, along with, you know, just a lot more sustain, a lot more damage coming out. So you're feeling good. This is pretty much free lanes coming out from CDUB across the board. They are starting to get some space down mid to be aggressive. They managed to get the chains off onto Sanctified, but the punch slows down Lund. And Lund is still in an awkward spot. As out front, they're going to kick Yanbura out. Sanctified does get rooted up again and does fall, but Lund will remnant away. Duster dropping low now with Ducho showing up with the Exo. They'll find more, but here comes the OD. TP's out, Isla. As the imprisonment has the hammer, does manage to connect with the leap out. Nine's still safe.
Right, just the targets you can't.
find your own punishment now.
Yeah, it's just the target you can't kill. They did pop Exorcism, they popped Tombstone. The Tombstone was killed. Like, a lot of things here committed by Sand King Gómez, and you also lost the tier 1 tower on the top lane. OD first finished that off, and then he TP'd. Mark on the mid lane, he's a bit deep, and on the bottom as well.
And Mark's trying to follow, does fall in the end, but they will find Ducho down bot with the tag team, plus the right clicks of Double King. You really don't have too much to be worried about now on the Life Sealer. A lot of back and forths. You're still up by a good amount in CDUB, like 8-6, slightly even kill board. They're trying again. Then it connects this time. No leaps, no escapes coming out there.
I love
9.
that.
The damage is more than enough. Yeah, that taunt.
That Dung Beetle, yeah, I love it.
I always wonder why, though. Like, why is OD doing something as a dung beetle?
Oh,
I don't fully understand why.
I thought you wanted to ask, why do dung beetles make little balls of
No, that's just nature, you know? Nature does funky stuff with dung sometimes, but it's more like, how did OD get to that
It's
point?
just Ice Frog, man.
like
It's just Ice Frog. You don't question
that's
Ice
fair.
Frog. It's just the way it is.
That's fair. I do enjoy that, and I mean, this game is... It's not the way I'd expect. You hyped me up.
Look at the Skelly.
So much in Sand King.
Look at the Skelly boys on mid.
There you are. That's the push. That's the push coming out. Just all by themselves, 2 sets of Skellies, more than enough to drop this tower to close to low.
Yeah.
They will find Mark in the triangle. Good rotation coming out from Lund, but here comes your OD hammer out for the imprisonment. Does connect perfectly, and Lund is gone. So I'll try to catch more. 9 not safe, punched into the air, Sanctified with a double. 11-7. You're punishing Mark, but you're still losing Lund in the end.
And you're losing the tier 1 on the mid lane.
Yeah.
Plus you didn't take the stacks, right? Like, everything that you did, you smoked up into the triangle. But this is the problem. Like, this is one of the reasons why teams just aren't smoking into the triangle this early on. Most of the time, even if you get the kill, you're losing map control or a tower, worst case scenario like they just did. Plus you're gonna get punished, so not great for Sand King Gómez. I hyped you up, but we're getting a good game at least so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's much more competitive than I'd expect. CDUB just looking sharp, looking fairly clean in comparison here up against the side of Sand King Gómez. With that solo push from the edge, right? Like you get that summoner creep. Those skellies just do so much damage, even after they were nerfed down a bit. I like this build as well on Isla. He's going straight Ags on the OD. And let me tell you, Lizard, I hate OD with a passion when you're playing against it. Like the moment this guy gets his Ags and once he has a shard, the shard is the most tilting thing to watch. Like as an enemy player. Like if Sand King Gómez sees that, they're like, oh no, I see him running around. I know he has Blink or something. It's just so demoralizing. This is probably one of the most demoralizing heroes when he's snowballing hard.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Playing versus a snowballing OD is never fun. But mid lane, Mark, he does have Bloodstone.
Got the Chains arrow combination. Bloodstone is running, so he's healing right through. They don't have the burst. They're forced to back away with a Moonlight there as well.
My thing that I wanted to say about OD is, like, he's really strong, but if he goes for straight agonyms and if he doesn't have a Blink or a BKB, you just do what you do to every core that's fat without a BKB. You go on him, and only on him. Nice silence.
They can opt to do that.
Arrow.
Yeah. They got the control. And they punish Double King for being isolated from his team, just solo farming down bot. Not really respecting any movement out from Sand King Gómez. For CDUB though, starting to farm up top. Meteor Hammer not quite connecting into tier 2 here. Oh, it actually does on the edge. So they actually have some damage pouring up. Shido's going to have to rotate in now. And our Slark does have Echo Saber up, but not much else. Still working onto the Ags.
Yeah, he alone cannot defend against this. Yeah, nice kill by the way from Ducho on the bottom lane when he got the Lifestealer. Mid lane, flash.
And they're trying. They have the snowball to stall, but Mark is starting to drop low. Does not have the stone active anymore. The Bloodstone not quite ready, and they will not sanctify. Not going to dive too much more. Double King getting some damage off. Remnants are there to escape. They are still trying to play tag. Double King might be a bit too far forward now. Has the infest, no rage, in a spot of trouble, and will infest away, no problems. So there is just so much poking and prodding across the map. Another pick off by SKG. So CDUB starting to get punished a little bit.
Yeah, but they're still having a ton of farm. They tried catching OD on top lane as well, Slark and DP, and then OD turned on them and they both had to run. Yeah, I think you need to bring more to this OD fight, more than 2 heroes. You need 3 at least.
It feels a bit scattered right now from SKG. Like they're trying to find everything all across, everything everywhere all at once. You know, that's exactly what they're trying to do here, and they're not able to find all of that all at once. They can find something every now and again, but it does feel like some targets just need a lot more focus.
Especially because they don't really have farm, right? Like there are 7k behind. 17 minutes in, like that's no joke. That's a lot. That's like 2-3 blink daggers. Come on, it's a lot of gold.
Yeah, and that gold lead for CDUB is leading into this earlier Roche as well, and they've got the output, especially with the Deso as well on Double King. So just gonna take that first Aegis for themselves. Mark will pick up the Aegis. Very efficient Aegis user the Leshrac is. They'll find a tier 1 bot for their trouble, and they do have Shido's Ags up if he can join in the fights. So if they can somehow connect, it still feels a little bit risky into that lead, but you find some pickoffs for those 2 pounces, it starts to feel better still. CDUB onto the mid. They have the maxed out Edict. Doesn't take too long to melt the objectives off the back of that. SKG do have the Moonlight, but Arrow connects, Astral to save, and not gonna follow through on Mark.
Ember dusted.
Oh. Yeah, they're trying to go deep. Tombstone is dropped. They might be able to force out the Aegis on Mark. They played their cards right. Said Double King. They've got the Imprisonment. They've got the Hammer flying through. Will it connect? Yes, it does. The arrow misses as well. Hammer dropped on top of the Hammer. And they'll find Ducho. Chase down for more. Shido just cleans up Duster. But the AoE damage from Mark is starting to force him away So 2 for 1 so far. Imprisonment again. Stun is at the ready. They'll find a Undying for their trouble. Yanbura falling down in front of his tower.
Yeah.
And CDUB.
Sanctified, right?
Good position to feed the push.
Sanctified right there, showing off his new bot Blink, utilizing it to perfection. Isla right now just dominating the game, right? Like this OD, it feels like one of those pub ODs in which the enemy team just doesn't know how to deal with him. He's hitting every Meteor Hammer. There isn't like one problem that SKG have got, Sandkin Gómez. They can take fights, they can poke and prod, but they don't have a lot of disables. Like you have chains and you have arrow. If you use either one of these two, the OD will use the Meteor Hammer, so
Yeah.
you can't
Like,
stop him.
Yeah, you don't have a stable way of doing that unless Shido again just puts himself in danger and tries to angle out for this pounce somehow. They get the chains arrow onto Mark, but there's the snowball save again. Sanctified, just saving the day, ensuring Mark gets to live on. Has the Bloodstone active now as well, so regaining some mana. Starting to drop Ducho low, but he's got the heals, he's got the sustain, and they will take down the Tusk as they'll find the Aegis on Mark, maybe, hopefully. One right click does get the job done. So the supports are gone, Mark's isolated,
Arrow.
no course to help. The arrow connects perfectly, and Mark being punished for being so far ahead. None of the other cores on CDUB in the area.
Yeah, that's
Just a little bit of overconfidence, getting punished.
just a tiny little bit of overconfidence, right? Tiny little bit. But these kind of plays, realistically, when you're playing versus a Slark, can cost you the game. Because he will scale very well into your cores. Into the OD, into the Lash, into the Lifestealer. I love the Echo Saber into Agnim's build because it also disassembles the Echo. You put the Ogre Axe into Aghanim Scepter, and then you put the other part, Oblivion Staff, into Mage Slayer. So like, he's getting everything out of his items. Efficiency through the roof. He's still not there yet when it comes to the farm. And I would really like to see BKBs from them sooner than later, but it's only Ember buying it.
Yeah, they get the Blink initiation onto our DP. Ducho gets taken out with a smoke play. But they are starting to collapse on top with a Moonlight. Still the range from that Astral with the Aether Lens is to be forced back because of the arrow. Another though with the Ags reveal on Isla. Can they keep the lockdown on the Slark? Dust does not quite connect.
He pops the ulti,
Will
right?
bail out.
Yeah. He pops the
Oh,
ulti
they
anyway.
catch more. Sanctified still with a Blink finds Yanbura. So you don't find a big core, but yeah, you force out the ult from Shido. He is a little bit more protected with the Mage Slayer. Even then, doesn't want to put himself at too much of risk here.
It's a problem for them to play the map, right? Like if you're SKG right now, this Tusk has a Blink, the OD with Aetherlance Aghanims is catching you from a mile away. It's so difficult to actually play the map.
Yeah. It really is, as the side of CDUB, Aegis or not, just going onto the high ground, understanding how strong they are. SKG, they've got some output here. They've got good control. Even just the level 1 silence is big as they jump forward with Shido catching out Mark, but the Astral Imprisonment's there to stop that movement. Mark's still starting to drop low, has the Infest to help save. And Shido's still going in, but the hammer just murders him as they get baited in to chase down that Tasty Lush. They're the ones to be punished instead. 9 should be able to TP out, does bail out, but that opens up the high ground.
Yeah, this should be a side now. Nice attempt. I didn't mind it that much. It was a little bit disconnected. Ember didn't have a lot of mana when he joined, and they decided to fight when they didn't have BKBs. I think that's like the biggest issue. Slark isn't even buying one. I don't blame him, but like you really need BKBs this game. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're trying to get one right now on Lund, so at least the Embers can have some play, but no other core ready to really back him up on that. They'll take the racks, they'll back off for now in CDUB. 19 to 13, 12k lead coming out here, 23 minutes in. The arrow connects again. Really annoying for Duster. Yeah, that's 2 times in a row.
He's got the magnet.
He's fine.
Someone put the magnet on him. He doesn't know.
Shido actually gets caught by the hammer. He might be dead here. Does have the ult, so can't escape. Trying to make a play onto Isla. He does have the imprisonment to save for now, but he's starting to drop low on the OD, and he's punished for being way too far forward. They get the route out onto Duster as well. So CDUB overstaying their welcome. They will get taken down in SKG. Oh, those are pretty big kills. That's a 1.9k gold swing their way off the back of all of that.
Yeah, they truly are. Sometimes you just have to be happy with what you've got. Stay humble. Take it, go back, you know. It's like you're playing with house money. Just go back, that's it. Instead of chilling around and then getting punished for it.
Yeah. Like, we've seen that a couple of times now from CDUB. You know, where Double King farm by himself, and they kind of run around with OD +2, and it's just not enough when SKG brings their full brunt there. Like, maybe a little bit of underestimation coming out from CDUB on to what SKG can still bring to the table. Still in CDUB in a pretty commanding position, 7k up, although that lead has dropped from the 12k peak off the back of those pickoffs. Next Roche in about a minute here. Not too many forward wards from the side of CDUB. I'm a little bit surprised their vision control isn't quite there. At the same time, you are trying to get vision control up against the Slark, which is easier said than done. Let's take the outpost top. Is there any big timing we're looking out for on SKG to simplify this game? Like, you've got the BKB on Lund. That's one.
That's not enough. For me, that's really not enough. You need more. But they smoke up with that BKB. Slark needs to be careful. He's the one that needs to jump in and out of fights, stay alive, and he does have shards, so that should make it a bit easier.
Cool. This could be the target they'd want to gun down first. Double King and Mark.
It's got
pretty
the
far
BKB
forward here, although. Yeah, they've got the BKB on Double King. The imprisonment's still there to save. And they're trying to jump the back line. Lunge is trying to chase down this OD. Isla's trying to drop fairly low. But Double King free to stand up front. The jump back from Shido trying to pick off the supports. But the snowball save is there. Mark still dropping low, but Bloodstone has been popped. Not enough to sustain. So they drop Tree. The side of SKG cleaning up nicely. And now Double King is all alone. Rage TP right out. Not enough damage to kill him off.
Yeah, Shido went for a different target. Like, he went for the OD that was pissing him off throughout the game. Really nicely done by Sandking Gómez. I love when a team in Division 2 or any division, by the way, realizes what their win condition is in fights. I thought that one BKB would not be enough. They proved me wrong. Like, Lund just pops that BKB and goes straight after the juggler of OD. He just follows him, right? Like, that's it. He sees OD and he follows him until the end. He pops 2 defensive astral imprisonments plus the snowball just to keep the OD alive. That's just because of the Ember with the BKB running you down. So he single-handedly, more or less, wins that fight.
Yeah, just gave it out towards SKG. Astral out from Isla, trying to get a solo pick-off. Should have enough damage for the second, but puts himself at risk. Still with the Arcane Rune, maybe he bails out. The silence is there. It's just so damn long.
Snowball.
But here's the snowball save. Sanctified saving the day and might lead to a kill. They're out of mana on the OD. They missed the timing. BKB forced out. One pop. Does bail out in the nick of time.
That stun probably wouldn't connect it, right? Like, in any case, you manage to pop the BKB and you get out.
Yeah. A little bit... a bit rough to try to force that. Still, you force another BKB charge, so it's already down to 7 after going pretty well with a fresh one. Duration way down, that helps the OD and the Leshrac in fairly big ways if they can stall these fights long enough. And for the side of CDUB, we're looking at 2 BKBs coming out. Mark's working on his. Isla is a little bit further away, still fresh on that, still lacking 2 parts. But that triple BKB timing, that's going to be big. 'Cause last time we only had Double King with his.
Yep.
Is this something SKG can still handle? Like, how do you feel about the triple BKBs for CDUB?
When they come out, if they come out at the same time, it will be a problem. SKG, if you look at the Slark, he has a Bloodthorn, so he's itemized for something that doesn't really deal well with the BKBs. But he will build a Basher afterwards, so maybe once the... It all depends on how long the game goes and how they execute with the BKBs. Right now, the Bloodthorn could be amazing if you can catch the OD. If you can jump on top of him, isolate him away from the Tusk, which probably should not happen. Like, Sanctified has his Blink Dagger. He should be able to jump in position and help the OD out.
They're trying to flank around with a Moonlight. Don't really find the angle.
They have another smoke and Rosh is up. So both of these teams are very well aware what's happening and what the positioning of the enemy team is.
They could try for another flank here on the side of SKG. Whoever wins that fight will probably just take Roshan. So it's a big one to commit for. Still holding on to the triangle area. The side of CDUB not leaving that top jungle. Takes the outpost.
You know,
so theoretically they have a little bit more forward control.
You know what's really cool about games that are a little bit higher in skill? Like, there's just a set of rules that every team follows, and you can kind of figure out where they are, right?
Why'd they leave the enchanted quiver on CDUB? They saw it drop.
Where'd they
just leave it in the ground.
They just left it?
Just there in the camp, yeah. I mean, they have an inch. Might have been a bit nice for Duster.
I don't know.
Smoke out.
Mistake, I guess, yeah.
Oh, nice smoke breakout from Isa. Maybe not intentional, but could lead to some good kills. Punched up in the air with a BKB running, trying to retreat on the side of CDUB. The chase is out onto Isla. That Bloodthorn in effect. They isolate the OD and get the kill, but here comes the backup. The damage coming out from Mark. Buyback is there. They want to chase down. They know they've got to take this Roche off the back of this. They managed to jump onto Sanctified. The punch there to stall. Imprisonment to let Sanctified bail out. Can they actually get the Slark kill? Feels a little bit difficult. Does have the Depth Shroud and will be able to back off from that. Big commitment out from CDUB though.
Yeah, Isla just went straight into the pit. He didn't want to continue chasing. He's an OD. He takes Rosh really, really damn fast with Arcane Orb. The question is, will Sand King Gómez maybe contest it? I don't think that would be
smoked up.
Yeah.
They've got double damage here on Lund. They want to try, but the Rosh just falls too fast. Aegis up on Isla to cover his buyback.
Slark?
So it's costly, but it pays off. Still to jump forward. BKBs are down. The imprisonement's out from the Slark, so it doesn't maximize that Blood Torn. Arrow's there to save, but the stuns connect. They're trying to body block Shido. Not quite enough.
They're
chasing forward. Another imprisonment out. Can he get the follow-up stun? Sanctified does blink forward. Punch in the air. Spear flies out.
He's going for more. Down. He's like, he has blink in 2 seconds. 1 second. Let's see if he finds Jan Bura. He finds him.
Yep, has the imprisonment, has the hammer. Not going to be a complicated one to find at all. Onto the Undying. So to take another. Big wins for CDUB after a lot of back and forth. Good life coming out from SKG. But CDUB with commitment in the buyback.
I feel like
with that secondary life, they can go high ground.
Yeah, when you're playing versus an OD or when you're in a situation such as this one, SKG, they always have to be the one initiating and jumping on top of OD. If they aren't doing that, they're just getting picked off like that. And yeah, you force the buy. Look, again, probably can't go that deep though.
Yeah. And respawns are fairly short. Just the Undying needs to come back in here. They managed to get the imprisonment onto the Slark. Follow-up stun does not quite connect. Really hard to pin that down. And they'll play it safe. Back off a little bit on CDUB with a full power of SKG up. For SKG though, it's like you said, if they manage to jump that OD, it feels pretty damn good. The side of CDUB though, fake back, smoke back in here. Infest on Sanctified. They can try to initiate with that blink punch. Lifestealer coming right out.
They broke the smoke on OD, so probably will not be able to catch anyone.
Yeah, they just infest out, go back to farming. Good attempt, but you're up against him, or sometimes he does get to do that as they pop their own smoke now in SKG. And wards up on the high ground to find.
It doesn't look like they will connect onto anything. Oh, maybe they will if they switch the... If they switch the trajectory. They were going towards the bottom, but now they're going to their own jungle.
Yeah, but they break a little bit of that smoke on Dutra.
Yep.
So they reveal it. Don't really want to go too far, but CDUB's still here. So they're still in position. A nice ward out from SKG does spot Double King, but they get the imprisonments out. The hammer immediately dropped from Isla. Not enough damage coming through, but the silence, the control is out in Isla. Aegis immediately pop. Sanctified gone as well. Tombstone taken out in the high ground. 4 staffs to saves. Can they clean up? They get another silence out onto Isla, and he is just... Oh, the infest is saved. Not quite enough. The control is coming through. The sustain from Mark. The damage is there. Forced the buyback from the Ench. Only one to fall from SKG. That's a big win for SKG.
That's a huge win and a huge blunder from CDUB. I feel like OD The jump was good, but the ulti wasn't. I think what you do there is probably you set up a Meteor Hammer instead. You hit the two heroes, I believe OD and Mirana, with the Meteor Hammer, and then you fight afterwards. But instead, he just blows up everything that he has. Ench, mid.
Yeah, we get the chains out, Remnant forward, control is there, and the damage should be more than enough. Here comes Mark, though, and Sanctified. They want to find something for that dieback on the Ench, but they can't really lock anyone down as Double King in a risky position. Still has the Rage. Shido diving fairly deep to get the control onto the Ember. Can he get the damage off, though? Slights the stall, Remnant back to safety. BKB on
Slark,
Mark. He wants
bashed.
to keep that chase going. They get the control onto Shido.
Ah, so
So
unfortunate
they
for
find
him.
one more big kill.
Yeah, it was.
He gets his BKB in this too.
Yeah, it was a good fight from, or at least the poke from SKG looked solid until he got bashed. Double King, he doesn't care. He bashes you, you die. As simple as that. Unfortunate for the Slark.
Sometimes you just get a little bit unlucky. Double King stands his ground. Manages to salvage that a little bit for CDUB, but they've dropped their lead anyway. Down to a 2K lead, sort of negligible at this point. I guess that mainly really just comes down to how underformed Ducho is relative to the rest of the cores, but beyond that, it's evening out for SKG. They're holding on to this high ground position fairly well. They understand who they have to jump. It's always got to be Isla. He still doesn't have his own BKB up. They moonlight forward. Arrow does connect onto Duster, but no real follow-up for that one.
They are going now.
Find the D-Ward, although they're coming in. Chains out onto Duster. The Astral to save with a shard. The most annoying thing you'll ever see. As the hammer comes in, they find 9. So they get some punishment. Man, this is when it gets a bit frustrating if Isla is not kept in check.
You have to go.
The Astral.
Yeah. Now he has a shard
God.
as well. Like, if you want to take a fight, if you want to even poke, you need to poke on the OD. Like, if you go and you go on some Enchantress like you just saw, or Tusk, doesn't matter who, and OD is around, you won't be able to just poke and get back. The range from Blink, H-Lance, and the Aghanims is just way too high. He astrals you from... It doesn't matter. He can be on the other side of the map. He's going to be there in time. The movement speed as well is ridiculous.
It is. Like, you've got Drums heroes up, so you can move pretty fast when you're under that imprisonment. They'll
Slark.
jump Duster again. They should be able to find this one, and they will. The stun's out. They're trying to get some control in as Double King comes in, but just not going to be able to really clean up. So a freebie coming out.
Just as I said, OD wasn't there on time. But he was really close. He didn't really manage to save the Ench this time around, though. Shido, he's going in.
He's going really far. He wants Isla. Does get it, but the instant Astral out. Can they back him up? Does blink away. Shido is still diving pretty damn deep, but
He didn't Orchid, right?
no one's going to be there to
He
punish.
didn't Bloodthorn him.
No.
That's the problem.
Didn't manage to.
Yeah.
He was coming from low ground, pouncing up,
Yeah.
so I guess there's a little bit more leeway for Isla to just get the counter control off.
Yeah, that was
And
the
this
case.
is where it gets a little bit scary. Isla is one part away from the BKB, about maybe 1,000 gold or so off. Once that BKB is up on Isla, like, what's your play? Because you don't have anything that just stops you from BKBing.
It's on Slark. Like, you will have the BKB, but if you check his item build, what he's going for, it should give you the opportunity to control everyone, including OD. He's going Skadi and Basher. I'm not sure which one he goes for first. Like, both are really good. It's hard to decide for me. Like, if I was in his shoes, Skadi is amazing versus OD, and versus everyone, it's good, right, on their side. Versus Lash, versus Lifestealer. Meanwhile, Basher is also damn good. Probably Skadi is better, though. Just a bonus hint that you get as well.
Oh. You find another one onto Duster. The silence is out. The pounce does not connect. So Duster buying some time, forcing everyone onto them. They do find that kill in the end. Sanctified, Snowball, dodge on the pounce once more, but is still stuck between a rock and a hard place. Forced to pop his own BKB out. That's enough to drop them away from the side of SKG, but Double King just runs up. Meteor Hammer connects with a pounce out.
Yambura.
So no follow through.
Yeah, he's the only one completely zoned out, but with the ice shards, but they didn't know. So he lives. He also had a force, he could have lived.
Yeah. Just on edge a little bit. 2K lead standing for CDUB. SKG, I mean, they're hitting that point where you do feel nice about the scaling here, Lizard. You mentioned it, but, you know, the Slark is going to have that great time. Whether or not it is the Scotty coming out here as well. So just more stats, more control, counter healing coming out. BKB is up for Isla though.
They have a Hex.
Side of CDUB. They're going forward. They want to get the control onto Lund. They do manage to get the Hex off, and damage is there. They manage to get that kill. Big one onto Lund. Not going to be able to find anyone else. They did pop BKBs, but Exo was popped by Ducho.
This was probably the biggest thing that they've got recently. That's the Hex on Lash. With that Hex now, you can actually take down heroes. Still, for me, SKG, they don't have an easy game. Far from that. But I feel like a default game would have been won by Dire, if you can understand. For CDUB, they actually have to make the right plays, and a lot of them. And they're not easy. Like the Roche though.
Oh
It
no,
smiles.
that Roche timing, man. Yeah. SKG checks just literally 14 seconds before, and now this Roche just melts to the side of CDUB. They've got the free Ags to pass along here as well. That would be huge on Sanctified. They pass it on to Mark instead. So we've got Nihilism in place. Just sapping everyone's will to live. You know, just take away any reason or rhyme for living, which is always an interesting vantage point. That's not exactly what Nihilism is, but in a gist, it's kind of like that. Meteor Hammer to check for the ward. They'll find it. Just poking
We all
around.
have that one nihilist friend, right? Like, he makes me feel
Yeah.
the same way Lash makes everyone else in the game feel. Defenseless. You can't really counter-argument him, because deep inside you know he's right. But you don't have to remind me that life is purposeless. Please, man. Let me enjoy my cake.
See, yeah, but I always enjoy the viewpoint of Nihilism where it's like life is purposeless, so theoretically you can make any purpose out of life, right? Like, it's a very positive thing, and I think that's the...
Exactly.
I forget which philosopher has that viewpoint, but I always found
Nietzsche.
it pretty empowering. It's like,
You're
I think it's
basically
Nietzsche,
the SCA Nietzsche.
yeah, I
That's
remember reading a little bit of Nietzsche. So yeah, it's that. It's a good viewpoint, but that's not exactly what Leshrac does. He does sap your will to live. So we'll see how impactful that is, especially again as these BKBs tick down in duration. The Leshrac and the OD has so much more forward impact in these sustained fights if they manage to survive that spell-immune period. Yeah. Fortify pop early. Tower is still set to melt. Good silence coming out. The jump forward off the back of it. Lund wants to find a kill. Astral Imprisonment saves are out. Double King pops a BKB as well. They are starting to drop low. No, the Infest is there to save Mark, but the jumps forward. Can they find that first life? They will. They're trying to find the supports as well. Double King still holding his ground. Mark back in. Does not have his Bloodstone ready. The hammer drop from Isla. It's a lot of damage. It's gonna clean up too. Can they find more? Lund standing forward. The cheese eaten.
This Slark has
But
too
they
many
will
stacks,
find
man. You need to get the hell out.
Oh my god, 53 stacks on the Essence Shift. They cannot sustain this prolonged fight. Isla gets found as well. It's just going to try to TP out. Can his timing connect? Yes, it does. They will be able to find the die pack on Ducho. Sanctified traps himself up. And he will be the sacrifice. So 3 for a few in the end, but they get the die back in the DP at least.
This Slark hits for 500 damage.
That's so sickening.
Yeah. You probably when you're fighting SKG, you need to find a way to control the Slark and not let him kill your Leshrac on his own twice in a row. Through Bloodstone, through everything. Like, he got way too many stacks. I was looking at the fight and it didn't look that bad for CDUB, but then you take in account the Slark, who can literally solo them right now. He could jump on the high ground if he had the BKB completed.
Ah, he's going a little bit ham. And no follow through for the imprisonment. But I think one thing for CDUB in that fight is, at least when they took that fight, Shido wasn't 25 yet. So it's down to 30 Essence Shift, which is still high, but it's not as ridiculous as 60 plus or 58 or something like that. So it's a little bit more manageable. But now, at the 25, these sustained fights, it's super awkward for CDUB. Yes, you want to sit out the BKBs, but then you don't want to deal with a Slark. He does get that fat in the middle of these engagements. It's anyone's game now. It's an even net worth, 31 to 32. Dota Plus is giving a slight advantage for CDUB at 64%, but it's super close.
I feel like CDUB can still execute their draft properly with some easy initiation with the Blink Hex or Blink Astral Imprisonment and then Hex from Lashrak, you know? Like, for them, I feel it might be easier to catch you off guard, but if the fights are starting on even terms, if the fight is being initiated by SKG, I think you don't have a chance in this world to take it. Like, SKG just, with the Basher now completed on Slark, it just feels, to me at least, it feels very simple for them to execute.
And they're trying to go out with a smoke onto that. Sanctified would be a decent target to actually pick off here. No buyback on that Tusk. Immediate jump out. Does get bashed up through to BKB. Snowball is there along with the imprisonment. Not going to be able to stack those stuns well enough. Meteor Hammer does miss. Trying to still force things out. BKB popped here by Dutra. Trying to get the chase onto Mark, but to jump backwards onto the edge. Gem is dropped. And Mark now isolated. Is held back again with the stuns. Astral Imprisonment is saving a little bit, but BKB's were popped early. Can they run down? They don't manage to connect the chain stuns here. They have the Infest on Mark. He's alive for a little bit longer. The damage is flowing in, but Double King, he's held up as well.
Oh,
Imprisonment to save.
Isla has a lot of max mana.
Oh no, he's starting to melt. Isla does have a lot of max mana, but where does he drop the hammer here?
To the base.
He's just forced to TP.
Yeah.
And they leave Mark to die. Another big win for SKG in this. This could open up something like the high ground if they wanted to play aggressive, but without the DP, maybe a little bit risky for them.
I saw the potential there. I was looking at the whole fight, and at one point I just stopped caring about the one half of it because I know what's happening. Slark is just dominating. Like, you can't really stop him. And OD, he's literally on one side on his own, just using a strong imprisonment and getting more and more mana. Eventually I thought he's just gonna drop the hammer and it's gonna be like massive, but in reality it wouldn't even tickle the Slark that has a Skadi and an Agrims. Like, he's got a lot of int on his own already, like a lot of mana. He's rocking this Slark. He won't take too much damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that it's just all down to Shido. Like, if you can't control the Slark, and if SKG finds these fights on their terms, like you said, Lizard, they just run down. So they take the lead. They're bouncing back in strong form, SKG. CDUB, maybe missing their timing a little bit.
Yeah, there's...
Maybe not quite executing on what they need to do on this lineup.
It's the problem. This Slark was a really good pickup, and it wasn't like an amazing lane or early game counter to anything, but later on, if you get to that part, if you punish a couple of mistakes, you just feel free. They also mistimed there in that last big team fight. What they did is they used the Abyssal on Slark, and at the same time they used this Astral Imprisonment. So two of your biggest controls you used at the same time. Do you think that they can kill off the Slark if they jump him first?
It's hard to say. I think they have enough single target control to just maybe chain stun and then try to burst. There is still good output here. They find one. It is going to be 9. Not the biggest kill. They take their gem back, though. And that is a good feeling here for CDUB, but not the biggest one to take out. There is no buyback. Well, no, 9 just gets buyback gold right now.
Yeah, he's got that Hex.
It's not the biggest. There you go. Yeah, double Hex ready. That could be a turning point. But you've got Lincolns to pass around now on Yanbura. CDUB, though, smoke play out.
Let's see.
See if they find anything.
Could be huge.
No Roche for a few more.
Like you said,
if they win and Roche is a fast timer, this could be big.
Like you said, double Hex. One on OD, one on Lash. Land. Isla, will he jump?
Not the smoke, but they're trying to run down. They found a Slark. Can they get the chain stun? Yes, they do. They get the secondary Hex. They have the damage. They get the kill. No buyback on that Slark as they're trying to chase down now. All down to Lund to try to dance around on December, but he's all out of remnants. Moonlight Shadow does save. Sanctified not quite around with the gem to give the vision, but that Slark with no buyback.
This is huge. This might be game even. They caught. I was asking you, can they kill the Slark? I guess my question was answered by CDUB. They can. If they find him immediately. Double Hex, Tusk as well, jumping in with a kick. not the kick, the punch. Just everything on point to control him. Really, really well done by them. They could end the game here. Like, they could actually win this.
They could. They're going for the safe play, trying to gun for Megas. The Fortify is forced out. 50 seconds without that Slark here. As they get control onto one more. They're trying to find Ducho, but they don't fully commit in. A bit split up here on the side of CDUB.
They lose
So the
edge.
mid will fall. They clean up Duster, but they get the control out onto Ducho. They might be overstaying their welcome here. The silence starting to hurt Double King. Still has the Infest play to bail himself out. They will run back. Infest out onto Mark. Arrow does not quite connect. Gleipnir not able to catch while the arrow is flying out. Mark looking to re-engage.
It's going in. Hex.
They blink forward. Isla gets control onto Lund. Can they keep him stunned down? Yes, they do. They get the second Hex, and they'll find a kill. He does have buyback. Immediate buyback. Wants to go back into this, force something out. BKB out from Sanctified. It's just going to TP away. Everyone just wanting to bail out, and they will. But that's a big buyback to commit. Roche is coming up fast, though.
Yeah, that's a big buyback.
SKG might be able to run into it.
Huge buyback, but like you said, rush up in 10 seconds, 15, and you don't have any BKBs, I believe, on this on Radiant side. You don't. So Slark will be up. You will scout that rush, hopefully this time around for SKG, and you can go into the pit. You have to be careful, though. They can still jump and kill off the Slark, but probably when he's surrounded by his teammates, that shouldn't be that easy.
Yeah.
Let's see, they
It'll be a
smoke
lot
up.
harder for CDUB.
Yeah, they know.
They're going to try to find the angle here. And the Hexes are still up. They managed to find some way of keeping down that Slark. Then this fight becomes really awkward for the side of SKG. Roche
ODP.
begins. They're not looking at the right spot. Does manage to run out. Doesn't really pop the smoke. Is a close call. The flanks coming in from CDUB. Roshan, it's not falling that fast.
It's very, very slow.
It's not like they have
go
stacks
in.
and they blink forward to get the control onto Yanbura. But they don't have any of that chain stun for the Slark now. They're starting to drop low. Isla's gone. No buyback on him. And they force that fight, but they don't have the target they want. They lose Mark as well. Double King forced to run back. Duster going to fall. Double King, BKB, can't TP out. Not with a Slark around in the area.
It's a matter of bash. Can
No
he get
bashes coming
get any
through yet.
bashes? What the hell?
He's TPing now. There's the bash. He TPs late and gets bashed late anywhere. Big win for SKG. 3 buybacks ready on CDUB, but they jump in and they jump the Undying of all heroes.
Yeah.
It's not that clean initiation you're looking for.
And they used all of their hexes, right? Like they just jumped in, used the hex on, I believe, Undying. Shido just uses his Depth Shroud. He saves his teammates and then he goes ham. Like, you have maybe 2 heroes that you can jump, Ember or Slark. Everyone else is pretty much irrelevant with these hexes. You need to kill one or the other. And they didn't manage to see, like, they didn't manage to see who they were gonna jump, so understandably they just jumped the Undying. It was hard for them. By the way, I don't think that their play was wrong. It's just that execution wasn't really that good.
Yeah, just a little bit flat on the execution. And now off the back of those objectives, I mean, they just go straight into the high ground here for the side of SKG. They've got the free upgrades on hand as well. Shido just gets rid of his own eggs, go for Moon Shard now. They just machine gun through these objectives. Equalize on mid. They are trying to, get some time to come back in, just being patient on the side of CDUB. 1 racks to fall. Not the biggest, as they will pause, as I believe we do have a camera issue right now.
Yep. Just a bit of cam issues. They have no other issues in this game, though.
No. So they're going to get ready to get back into it. One thing for Shido is his essence shifts are starting to fade as the respawns rack back up. But now they've got the Lincolns constantly being spammed out by Yanbura. So you'll probably only be able to get one. It's awkward.
What can you do, man? Unlucky.
You can astral into maybe a hex, but there's a Lincolns on Slark. He can just pop his ulti instantly, right? So
Yeah, he can bail out now.
He can bail easily. Mirana, by the way, completely AFK on top lane. No one even knows. Nine has been disconnected for the last 3 minutes. everyone is like, yeah, just play. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he just disconnects now. Like sometimes that does pop out quite a bit late.
It's the best, but
Just have to see.
it's the best when you right-click a hero, you know, right next to his tower, and then you DC. That's my favorite one.
That's some feels right there when that does happen. It happens quite a lot in Southeast Asia as well. Just because, well, the internet sometimes is not the best. Do you have the instant reconnect though? Let's see if that's a lot better now for 9. Hopefully it is. I mean, to get the 1 free racks in the lane that is a little bit unequal. You haven't managed to take the mid set of racks here for CDUB. You take a look at Dota Plus though, Lizard. It is still favoring CDUB at 56 to 44% here. So despite those losses.
At that. Look at those losses. That's 2008 global financial crisis right there.
That is.
Out in the
It's quite a
gutter.
crash.
It's a crash, man. Oh.
The ridiculous crash. There you go. Ult forced out. Fortify out. Smoke out from SKG on the back end. Might be able to flank around one more time.
I think you wait them.
Side of CDUB.
You think you probably wait the Mirana, right, John? Like,
Yeah.
You go with 5 heroes. Why would you risk it?
Yeah, no need to risk. Just Dragon 9 next time around. You have a lot of time left on the Aegis anyway. Around 3 minutes 30 at this point. So you can just get rolling on that. For CDUB, everything has to line up here. If they can manage to isolate the Slark, kill him off as we saw last time, he doesn't have Aegis. You know, he does have buyback. So you can kind of force it out from him and try to drag the game again. But it has to be managing Shido somehow.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, he has buyback now, and even if you kill him... Well, if you fight somewhere where he can't join, that would be good for you. But both the outposts are taken by Dire. There isn't really a place in the map. You're not going to force Sandkin and Gómez to fight somewhere where they don't want to fight. They only have one side left, so positionally, they also have to be pretty sound. They pop the Mirana ulti, maybe a smoke if they have one. They don't, so they're just gonna run. Counter smoke.
CDUB have the smoke here. Into the moonlight. Be an awkward fight over the runes. Shido does get the haste.
And he breaks the smoke.
Smoke does pop. Oh, it's running into the back line. Does find Sanctify to control it there. The jump forward from Isla. Can they keep the control? Yes, they can. They get that first life on Shido gone. Can they find more? Can they force something out here on CDUB? They get the control. The remnant out from Lund. He's still surviving. Duster trying to get the hits off. Not quite enough
Crazy,
on
he
the
lives.
inch. As they find the DP. The buyback's forced out though. Lund trying to go back in. Hex out. Aegis gone. Reset is given, but Shido is back into play. And the side of CDUB have to back off. They get the Hex out onto that Lesh. And Mark has no play. He has buyback.
That's the play, right? Like, you go back to your high ground, you bait them in, and then you fight. Slark doesn't have a buyback, Ember doesn't have a buyback. Like, if you can kill either one of these two or both of them, you could be in a really good spot. But Flash has to buy back here. You need him. You need the Hex.
Yeah, you can't go in without that Lush. They're gonna try to get the first Hex off. The buybacks there. BKB is popped. And a refresh there for Shido, so he has everything back up again. They're still trying to drop low. They might be able to find Mirana. They find another Nyanbura. Can they get more? DP, Dutro being chased down here. The imprisonment's out as well on the Ember, but Shido does re-engage. 15, 16, every stack going up. Imprisonment to save for now. Astral, the hammer, drop, not quite enough this time. As now they might be able to find that pesky OD. The dieback was already out from Mark. OD immediate buyback now as well for Mark.
Lifestealer also
Such
caught.
an awkward engagement. And they're forced to buy back on so many heroes.
You have 45
CDUB.
essence shift charges. Do you run? I think you still... Well, there's a tier 2 on the bottom lane, which is really annoying for SKG. You probably don't want to throne. Your bottom lane is being pushed in. This game is anyone's still. Like, they made a couple of really nice plays here. They're 23k ahead. They're almost level 30 on Slark. All of these are really nice and big things. At the same time, you aren't able to end the game, and you just lost the tier 4.
Yeah, he lost one tier 4 from the natural shove. And you force a lot of buybacks, it still makes this game a lot easier for the side of SKG. For CDUB, and they're trying to go onto Hex now for Double King. They know, they just need to chain stun, just need to keep that control onto that one pesky hero, and suddenly your game feels alright. But Shido has his own Linken's. So potentially double Linken's protection coming out here for the Slark, which complicates matters quite a fair bit for the side of CDUB.
Mirana buyback, they're just going in.
Yeah, they want to try to end. Gonna group up, they smoke up, they have the Moonlight as well.
I mean, if you're CDUB, you know what's up. Like, you're just chilling back because bottom lane is being pushed in. This is very risky for SKG, but a cool play.
And they get the Hex off. But the snowball save is there. They drag everyone in. The silence is out. The BKB, they have time to pop it. But they drop that Tusk so fast. The Fountain Dive, Shido just gets a control. They actually find a dieback. And it feels impossible to defend. That should be it as they go on to the Ancient. Double King just trying to get some damage off, but it's him against the world. And the GG is called 57 minutes in. Sand King Gómez do manage to pull it back. But that was not an easy game for them.
That wasn't easy, that wasn't clean, but it was a good game. It wasn't...